Hi, my name's Craig Vaughan from MAP Home Loans, and this is a short 10 to 12 minute video presentation on getting your home loan approved whilst on a 461 New Zealand Family Relationship Visa. Quickly about MAP Home Loans, we're experts in helping clients on 461 visas get a home loan approval even if you do not have the 20% deposit. Firstly, what is a New Zealand Family Relationship Visa? Just quickly, that's a visa that you would be on if you were purchasing with a New Zealand citizen and you yourself are not an Australian citizen or permanent resident. What we're going to cover off in this video is the 5 eligibility criteria that the banks consider when deciding to approve your 461 visa home loan. We're going to cover off on how to get a 461 visa home loan with only a 5 or 10% deposit. We'll look briefly at the process of buying property in Australia, given this is likely your first time. We'll look at some misconceptions, some things that you may have been told prior to watching this video and talking to us, which may be false, and we're also going to look at the next steps and what your next step is to take to make your dream of home ownership a reality. Firstly, let's look at the eligibility criteria for a 461 visa holder. It's not that much different to the general Australian citizen or permanent resident, just a couple of key distinctions. So there's 5 main things you need to do, and we'll go through all those 5 things slide by slide. Firstly, you need to have sufficient income to afford the repayments. That obviously goes without saying, and you need to have income to cover the repayments, as well as any existing credit that you may have, such as credit cards, personal loans, and things like that. Noting every bank has their own lending borrowing capacity calculators. If you like, you will find one on our website as well, but they're very much for indicative only. Every bank will lend you more or less money than another bank. You have to be on an eligible visa, and of course 461 is an eligible visa for some lenders. Certainly, if not for all lenders, and certainly we have special arrangements where we can get you a home loan up to 95%, where other brokers would not have those same arrangements. You generally have to have 1 year left remaining on your 461 visa. A 461 visa is typically a 5-year visa. If you're within that last year, you may have trouble. So obviously, if you're within that last year, give us a call and we'll go through it. There are always exceptions. If you've applied for your new 461 visa, that would be okay as well. You've got to have clean credit history in Australia, that is a credit file clean from bankruptcies or defaults. Look, typically not an issue for you given your visa status makes it difficult for you to get any sort of finance in Australia. Nevertheless, you may have that unpaid telephone bill or electricity account or something like that. But yes, you do need to have clean credit in Australia to be approved. The big question, of course, and what most of our time is spent around, is deposit and genuine savings requirements. So to buy a property in Australia, you need to have 4 things. You need to have sufficient funds for your deposit, you need to have enough funds for stamp duty, you need to have enough money for your lender's mortgage insurance, however note, and we'll talk about that can be added to the loan in some cases, and you need to have enough money for all the extra little bits and pieces, such as conveyancing, solicitors, building and pest, and so on. So looking at your deposit requirements, so we can get up to 95% on your 461 visa, obviously if you fit the policy. This is just an example of buying a property in Australia for $500,000 using at 90% LVR. So if the bank's going to lend you 90%, what that means to you is you need the difference. You need the 10%. In this case, that is $50,000. So for a $500,000 purchase at 90%, you would need $50,000 plus your costs. If you're buying at 95%, the bank's going to lend you $475,000. You therefore would need $25,000 plus your costs. Looking at on top of that deposit, you also need your stamp duty. Your stamp duty is a government fee, government tax, and it's charged on the sale of property. So we have a calculator on our website, the stamp duty calculator. You can go to that link, type that into your web browser. You can choose a state you're looking to buy in, type in the purchase price, and it will tell you how much your government fees or stamp duty is in that particular state. For $500,000 in New South Wales, the stamp duty and government fees payable is $18,296. Thirdly, looking at lender's mortgage insurance. There's actually a link there. You can go to that link and you can read about what lender's mortgage insurance is. It's quite hard to explain, but certainly give us a call and I'll be happy to walk through that with you. Basically though, all borrowers will pay lender's mortgage insurance unless you have a 20% deposit, or if you have a guarantor. So if you've got a 20% deposit or a guarantor, there is no requirement to pay lender's mortgage insurance. Lender's mortgage insurance is a once-off upfront fee, and it can be added to the loan. In this particular example, down the bottom there, if the loan amount was $450,000, the mortgage insurance premium is 1.6%, and therefore the premium would be roughly $7,200. Again, have a look at that link or give us a call and we can talk about how lender's mortgage insurance works. Finally, on top of the deposit, stamp duty and lender's mortgage insurance, you also need sufficient funds for all the extra bits and pieces. So you need money for your conveyancer, solicitor, settlement agent. That's all the same name for this person who handles your legals. You need enough money for building and pest, or survey as you might call it back in the UK, and you need enough money for everything else: council rates, adjustments, bank checks on settlements and things like that. Typically, if you allow $2,500 for all of these things, you will have some change left over. So to summarise, if you're buying a property for $500,000 in New South Wales, 10% deposit is $50,000, stamp duty was $18,296, and your miscellaneous costs were $2,500, meaning you need total funds of your own of $70,796. In this particular situation, we've been able to capitalise the mortgage insurance on top of the loan. That is, you didn't need to pay for it up front. Instead, you've borrowed that. So your loan was $450. You're also borrowing the mortgage insurance, so you're actually borrowing $457,200. Again, you can't always capitalise the mortgage insurance, so give us a call if that's something that's vital to you. Give us a call and we'll go through that with you. And this example has been based on 90%. You can definitely borrow up to 95% on a 461 visa if you meet the criteria. And give us a call. We can go through that with you. Looking briefly at the process of buying a home in Australia, the key thing you need to really do is get a fully verified pre-approval, and this is where a lot of our clients have come unstuck before coming to us. So you need a letter from a bank that's going to lend to you that states that you're pre-approved and they've checked that approval. So often what you might find is you've got a pre-approval from a bank. It might have only been half an hour or a day. If that letter says that the approval is subject to the bank checking your application meets their policy, then that approval is largely worthless. They haven't checked it, they've issued that to you within a day or half an hour, and they won't do their checks until you actually find a property. The issues with that are obvious. You know, once you've got your pre-approval, you're all happy, you think, great, you go and find your dream property. Then you find out, oh, maybe your finance wasn't actually approved in the first place. So we always advocate for a fully verified pre-approval. We only ever arrange fully verified pre-approvals in most cases, and that just means that it does take a few extra days, but your finance is fully signed off on up front, subject only to valuation. So once you've got a fully verified pre-approval, you then move on to find that dream home that you want to buy. We'll give you guidance step by step, join the dot guidance all the way through on how to do this and what sort of clauses you need in the contract and so on. But effectively you get pre-approved, that lasts 3 to 6 months, then go and make your offer on the property you want to buy, and then 30 to 45 days or 60 days later you get the keys and you move into that home. So some misconceptions that you may have been told before coming to this video, before giving us a call, are the interest rates high because of your 461 New Zealand Family Relationship Visa? Absolutely not. Definitely not. The rates are very competitive. There's no higher rates or fees because of your residency status. It's purely a policy thing. We have access to exclusive policy that most mortgage brokers or banks do not have access to, but there's no loading or rates or higher rates or anything like that. If you've been told you need a 20% deposit, yes, this is the general rule. If you've been told that you can't be lent to at all, yes, a lot of banks or brokers won't be able to assist you in this case. We have special arrangements where we can get you up to 95%, providing you otherwise meet bank lending criteria. So if you've been told you need a 20% deposit, please give us a call. We'd be happy to work through and let you know if 95 or 90 or 85% is available to you. Finally, if you've been told that you need to be in Australia for a minimum period of time or need to be in your job for a minimum period of time, this is not always necessarily the case. We can certainly get people, we've had clients approved before, for example, when they haven't even left their home country yet. They're just moving to Australia now and they want to get pre-approval before they arrive. So there's not necessarily a requirement that you're in your job for any, or in Australia for any, minimum period of time. Obviously, if you are, that helps improve the application, but certainly we've had many clients and helped many clients get approved with short periods of employment. So what are your next steps? Where do you go from here? kind of depends on where you are in your purchase planning. If you're just researching very much in the early stages, just thinking you may want to do this sometime in the future, then I would recommend downloading our free report on our website, and that's going to give you some information. I'd also recommend purchasing a copy of my book titled Buying Property in Australia, a guide for non-residents, and there's a slide coming up on that. So just download the free report, buy a copy of the book, and or give us a call as well if you want some general information as well. If you're looking to purchase within the next 3 to 6 months, then I would recommend you start getting fully verified pre-approval now. They typically last 3 to 6 months, and so it's going to give you that confidence that if you did find something on realestate.com or Domain, you can move pretty quickly. So if you're looking to buy in the next 3 to 6 months, book in a strategy session with us now, or give us a call. We'll go through, advise you whether you whether it's an option to you, and then if you're happy with that, we can move forward to prepare some advice for you. If you've actually found a home you wish to make an offer, or you've already made an offer, please give us a call straight away. We need to start working on this to get you approved ASAP, as there can be finance deadlines or cooling off period deadlines as well. I talked briefly about the book, so if you're in the researching stage or looking to buy in the next 3 to 6 months stage, purchase a copy of our book if you like. Actually, our clients will get a free copy of our book, but if you're just looking at this stage, you can purchase a copy from our website. Look out for the graphic on the website. You can download a Kindle version from Amazon.com, or you can also purchase a hard copy from Amazon.com as well. There's a hard copy book. You will get posted a copy of that book once you book in for a strategy session with us, or you can purchase a copy as per this slide. Just what some of our clients have said about us and our service. There is obviously some skepticism. You may have already approached some banks and brokers and been told you can't be helped because of visa and things like that. Look, we specialise in this area. It's all we do. If you came to me and said, Craig, look, I want to buy I want to buy a block of units in the city, or a studio apartment, or something like that, I would say to you, I've got no idea. Go and find someone who specialises in that area. This is what we do. This is what myself and my team do every day, is help clients with residency issues. Here we have Aziz and his wife. They purchased a property in Melbourne. They'd approached their own bank and a few other banks and been told they couldn't be helped. We had them approved 90%. We could have got 95% if we wanted, but they only wanted 90%. Had enough deposit for the 10% in costs, and they're obviously very, very happy. They were very stressed when they called us, and we got them approved very quickly at a very, very good rate. And they're now obviously in their brand new home. Here we've got this was Elena and Darren from the Gold Coast. Haven't got their names there for some reason, but Elena and Darren from the Gold Coast. They were on a 461 visa as well. They were borrowing 90% to buy an investment property in Hervey Bay. We managed to arrange them that purchase without any trouble. And here we have Mark and Angela from Brisbane. They purchased on a 461 visa, 5% deposit. They had also approached their own bank. They'd been declined from their own bank. We actually got that loan approved through the same bank who said no. So what you'll find is that even the branch, often, when I say even, most of the cases, even your branch manager's not going to know their own policy on these various issues. So we get home loans approved all the time. With even the same banks the clients went to themselves. The client likes that bank, they wanted to stay there, so we got that approved with their bank. So look, interest rates are fine. It's very much we have access to specific policy that others do not have access to, and often even the bank managers won't know their own policy in a given area. So look, that concludes the presentation. I hope from this you've got some tips on about what can be done based on your particular visa. We stand here ready to waiting and happy to assist you as you require. I look forward to working with you and talking with you soon about your requirements and getting you into your home shortly. Thanks and bye for now.